This is Karthik. Nice to meet you.
Sean, good to meet you.
We run this project where we use the power of social networks to solve social problems. So I run a project called Social Blood. What we do is we completely rely on Facebook to connect blood donors and blood recipients on one platform so that they can share information in emergencies. So we are now thinking of going out of Facebook and creating our own system where we connect people on the map. Mm-hmm. So it's more location specific. So my question to you is, should I stay with Facebook or should I...
So the question, my first question is this a non-profit? Is this a charity or is this a for-profit business?
Is it a for-profit business?
So it's a for-profit business with a social mission.
Yeah.
And that's a great model, and it's an emerging model.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more companies doing that successfully because if you can do a social good and also make money to fund your business, then you're not passing the pan, raising money all the time, dedicating all your resources towards raising money. Yeah. I think it's an idea that makes sense. I think it's going to come down to good product execution. I'm not sure Facebook groups are going to be scalable forever. There's a lot of problems with it, but it's a good proof of concept. Yeah. How do you intend to make money doing it to support what you're doing?
The one idea we have is to tap onto location-based advertising.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be there's a lot of ad inventory in the world that goes unsold.
Okay.
Facebook is full of ad inventory that's unsold. Twitter has a huge amount of traffic and can't quite figure out, in my opinion, how to monetize that traffic. So location-based advertising feels a little gimmicky, and I actually think that you should come up with a system which is more directly related to the value that you're bringing. Okay. So it's more directly related to the value of blood donation and the scarcity and lack of reliability around blood donation, in particular in markets that don't have a good infrastructure for this.
Okay. What are the three things you look in an entrepreneur? Do you look at the idea or do you look at the person?
Well, it's almost a cliche, but VCs talk about team. Yes. And team does not mean credibility. That's a mistake. That's a misconception. Team means, do we think this team can actually execute the vision? Okay. And do we think this team can create a compelling vision? Because oftentimes the vision that they initially present doesn't end up being the business that they create. So is there someone on the team who's a visionary, who's agile and nimble and can come up with lots of ideas? Is there someone on the team who's a great engineering leader who can recruit a lot of engineers? Okay. Is there a great core technologist who can build the initial technology, who's like a real hardcore developer? Is there someone on the team who can watch over the business, do deals, basically relieve all the other people of that burden of having to go and hire people and deal with human resources and operate the company and deal with legal and so forth? And in every company, the balance is different, but you have to get a complete team. Okay. And so most of the companies we see, we don't even get past the first meeting because we can see so clearly that their team is missing certain critical pieces. Okay. Then we look at market size. How big is this market really? Okay. And that, that excludes 99% of ideas. The market is just not big enough. And then we look at the particular approach to the problem, and in a sense we look at that last. Because it's almost not even worth considering an idea. Ideas are a dime a dozen, unless you've got this incredible team in place and you're going after a market that's sufficiently large. Okay. I think of the idea just as your approach to the market. What makes you different, why you're going to win. And there's a million different correct answers to that question. Entrepreneurs often fixate on one. They think their idea is the way it must be because, one day they were, woke up from a dream and they were reading a book on some interesting topic and the idea came to them but they didn't consider all the other possible different ways you could approach it. So I see a lot of companies that basically have the same high-level vision and take a completely different approach, and it's like the practitioners of different religions. They can't all be right about everything. Sure. So remaining open to a large number of different possibilities, I think, is important, and being able to pivot. If you look at PayPal, they changed their business model 6 times before they figured out that email-based internet payments on eBay was actually the correct model.
I was listening to you talking about politics and social networks. So what do you think is the next big thing coming up in social sector?
Yeah, like I think so. Like most of these social business, like this is going around, social networking and stuff like that. It will saturate soon. I would say 5, 10 years, or 20 years from now. What's more, it will become a normal thing like cell phones. That everyone is using calling. It will be something like that. What will actually amuse people more? You know, next thought is like what could be? What do you think it would be?
Sorry. I mean, I'm making a big bet on live video.
Yeah.
And the power to break outside the social graph and form connections between people who don't know each other. Facebook's great for people who already know each other.
Yes.
But I think there's no great network for people who have yet to meet and actually strangers or people who are loosely connected to their network.
So last question, what is the dumbest thing you did as an entrepreneur?
I think all the hiring that we did at Napster in the early days was so bad that we actually got a chance to work with so many different types of cancerous and parasitic people who were all trying to extract value in their own various manipulative and selfish ways, that we were able to put together almost like a biological taxonomy of crazy people, which has been very helpful to me in the future, because now I can spot these people a mile away. And learning how to separate the sort of wheat from the chaff, the hucksters from the real deal, is something that every entrepreneur goes through at some point, because you bump into people who have a big resume, a fancy title, a lot of credibility, but they ultimately don't have any clue what they're doing, and they're faking it too.
Yes,
So, cool. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
Nice to talk.